Hello, welcome to the NYSSBA Mailbag. I'm David Little, NYSSBA's Director of Governmental Relations. Today's question is, now that New York State has been declared a winner in the race to the top federal funding, will it help offset state aid cuts? Race to the top funding will be helpful to many districts as they prepare to enter a new age based on student achievement. The race to the top funding will help implement new programs and systems at both the state and local district level. But despite what many legislators have said, it will not replace state operating aid, and it shouldn't be confused with the Education Jobs Fund, which will provide about $600 million to districts strictly to preserve staff positions. Race to the top funding is designated for specific purposes, such as implementing new statewide student data systems, aligning a new generation of student tests so that they can be used to help each child, rather than simply measure classes of students, and it will be used to incorporate student information in evaluating teaching methods and the staff that uses them. Half of the Race to the Top funding will go to the State Education Department. About $350 million will be able to implement SED's new reform agenda that seeks to use student information throughout the child's academic career to influence their instruction, evaluate and inform their instructors, and ultimately to train the next generation of teachers. All of that reform will be needed if New York State is to win the real race to the top and provide our children with a world-class education and our businesses with a knowledgeable and informed workforce. But all of that reform will also cost money at the local district level, and the other $350 million in federal aid is intended to help districts fulfill their commitments to reform that were promised when they signed their Memoranda of Understanding, or MOU. Most districts provided these MOUs in support of the state's Race to the Top application, and they included plans for improving student performance tailored to their individual districts. Much of the district funding will go to our neediest districts, but each district should get an amount of Race to the Top funding to help implement the provisions of their MOU. The funding may not be sufficient to pay for all district costs of these programs, particularly in the long run, but it is intended to pay enough to allow districts to participate in the state's reform agenda. We now know that our state hasn't been performing overall as well as we thought, or as well as we need to compete either nationally or globally. If it were used to actually operate our schools, the Race to the Top funding wouldn't last us a week. But used to fund innovative programs and systems, it has the potential to position our students to succeed in a new age of excellence and accountability. Thanks for watching. Send your questions to mailbag@nyssba.org.